Hey there, my name is Gabe, and as you read in the title, I just quit my job with no plan. Now, this is something that I did very impulsively and just right on a whim, but it's something that I really felt like I needed to do, and I'll explain that more later on, but I really just felt like I needed to leave. I was not happy with my situation and what I was doing, and I just could not deal with anymore. Now, for some backstory, I was working at GameStop. I know, but I was working there mostly part-time while I was in college, and then when college ended, I ended up picking up more hours, and I was looking for other jobs, like something that would actually use my degree, but after just looking for like a month or two, I really couldn't find anything. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna probably do closer to full time. It wasn't exactly full time. It was only like 30 to 35 hours at most each week, so not quite full time, but it was enough to get by and enough for me to pay my bills. Now, another reason I didn't leave is because my state's minimum wage actually just went up last month in January. Last year in 2024, it was only $12 an hour, and this year they raised it to $13.50 an hour, which is honestly pretty decent. I mean, it's not quite enough to live off of by yourself, but it's enough to have money in your pockets and to get something going. Since minimum wage went up, I wasn't too worried about like rushing myself into a new job. If I was still making $12.50, I would not have been there. I would have left almost instantly as soon as I graduated, but I managed to hold out because I knew I was going to be making more, and in reality, I did not do much. I've worked as a manager in my previous jobs. When I was at GameStop, I really did not do as much as I did in those other jobs. I literally would get paid some days to sit on my phone the entire shift. So it was that type of job. And honestly, when I was looking for jobs, I was looking at stuff and it's like, man, do I really want to get paid $1 or $2 extra an hour to pretty much be two people? Back to the original story. So I ended up quitting my job on Friday. As of recording, today is Wednesday, so it's been almost a week, but it's given me time to think about what caused it, why I did it, and ultimately if I regret it. I knew Friday I was not having a good day. I woke up, I was pretty upset for honestly no reason. Like, I could not tell you why I was upset. I was just not in a good mood. And I really tried my best not to take it out on other people, but it was just not good. I don't want to say I was freaking out, but I definitely had either an anxiety attack or a panic attack. Like, one of those two things happened. My shoulders tensed up to the point where they were hurting so bad. Like, my chest felt so tight. Like, I was halfway debating going to the ER because I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what's happening to me? Because I've had panic attacks and anxiety attacks before. I'm a very anxious person. I think a lot. So I've had panic attacks before, and this is nothing like I felt. That day was just not good. Like, I actually ended up having to call my mother because I was like, hey, like, something is not okay. Like, deep down, I do not feel okay. Like, I feel like something's genuinely wrong. And I just started like freaking out at that point. Like, I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to talk to anyone really. I didn't want to do anything, not even things that I like to do. I didn't want to play video games. I didn't want to listen to music. I didn't want to do anything. It was just this overwhelming feeling, and there was nothing I could do about it. An hour passes, I'm having to get ready for work. Otherwise, I will get in trouble. And that's when I make the decision, like, hey, I think I'm going to quit my job. Like, I genuinely think I need to quit. Like, I just cannot do this. I cannot go into work and I cannot work for the next 6 hours like this. Like, I'm on a thread to just freaking out and just going off on just everyone. So I throw on some sweatpants and I throw on a random hoodie. I'm not even dressed for work. Like, I would get dress coded the instant I went to work. But I go to work. And the whole way there, I'm not listening to music. I'm just in complete silence because I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what am I going to do? I don't want to say I haven't had this overwhelming feeling before, but I haven't had it to this extent to where I was actually like freaking out and having physical symptoms of anxiety and paranoia. Like, it was actually freaking me out and freaking my body out. I get to work and I go inside and I just got a new manager. And maybe that has something to do with it because she was retraining me and having me do more things. So maybe I just felt a little overwhelmed and had a lot on my plate at work as well, but I really just didn't feel like it was the job or the new manager or anything like that. I feel like it was more of just me. Like something with me just could not do it anymore. So I go inside. My manager says hi, asks me how I'm doing and whatnot. I say I'm all right, even though I know I'm not, and you can probably tell that I'm not. But I go on the system, and instead of clocking in, I log into the application where I access like my pay stubs and all of that. And I go to the part where it says to resign, and I turn around and look at her, and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry to do this to you, but I just cannot do this anymore. Like, I am not having a good day. I just cannot do this anymore. It's very hard for me to remember exactly what I said, but I just know I kept reiterating, like, hey, like, I am just not okay. No, like, I can't do this. Like, my mental health has to come first. So I can't do this. I handed her over my keys, and obviously she was like, you can't complete the rest of your shift. And I was like, no, I cannot. I genuinely just cannot be here tonight, and I can't do this. So I hand her my keys, and she wishes me luck and talks about her experience. And it really made me feel bad because she told me about how she had to leave work for 2 months because she had to get cancer removed. And so that really made me feel like, I know she was just saying it to help make me feel better and to comfort me. Part of me feels like it invalidated my reasoning because that's an actual reason to leave work. If you have cancer and you are actually, like, you have a disease, you need to get that cured. You need to do everything you can to have that your priority. I don't know, just for me, there's way more I could have done, I felt like. And so that response just did not make me feel any better. But I walk out and I'm heading to my car, and my hands are shaking, my voice is shaky, I can barely keep my composure. You know, I was very surprised I didn't break down at work, which I really tried not to. I did not want anyone to see because there were customers inside. I tried waiting for them to leave, but besides that, you know, I'm pretty sure I met up with my girlfriend and hung out with her for a little bit. She was going shopping, so I just tagged along, and I didn't really do much. I was just walking around with her, and I didn't really talk much. I didn't express anything really. It was all still processing, like, am I really doing this? Did I really choose this solution to be the one that I wanted to go with? So I was very quiet, and after that I ended up just going home. And I went home, and the rest of the day was just not a good day. I didn't get anything done, and honestly, since then, I really haven't done anything. My laundry sat on my bed. My room's technically, I can't say that it's gotten dirtier because I have had to clean it. You know, I do have a cat, and, you know, there's a certain standard. I need to have it clean so that she's not eating trash, getting into stuff that she's not supposed to and whatnot. But I can definitely tell that it is getting a little harder. But since Friday, you know, I really have tried to just reflect and do as much as I can while I'm not working, because even though I'm not working, that doesn't mean I can't be productive, and it doesn't mean that I have to just sit in my room all day or sit at my desk all day. You know, that doesn't have to be the solution. But I'm not really too worried about like the money aspect. If I need money, I can DoorDash or apply and get a new job. You know, it's really not an issue with me. But I think for right now, at least for like a week or two, I just need a break. I just need to take a step back and gather myself together again, because I was on a decent roll, but I could tell that since graduating, there isn't much to look at. I haven't done much since graduating, and I know it's been a short time. I know it's only been, you know, 2 months since I graduated, but I mean, anything would feel nice. That's just something that I want to work on, and, you know, working on these videos and talking and, you know, doing this stuff technically does help because, you know, I sit here and I'm talking to whoever decides to listen, and I'm able to get this off my chest, express how I feel, and not bottle this inside me, as well as, you know, playing the games that I like and just sitting there enjoying, not really thinking about anything, just playing the game. But like I said, I definitely just need a break, and I know I'll need to do something, and so I'll need at least somewhat of a plan, but as of right now, I really don't know. Anytime I try thinking about it, I get very overwhelmed because there is a lot of options, but the options that I would be comfortable doing are very low. And I know that I have to take some pride and ego out and to do some stuff that I don't want to do I'm an adult. That's the whole point of being an adult, is to do stuff you don't want to do, because that's life. And so I know I'll need to do that more than likely, but at the same time, if I'm able to take my own time and be productive with that and not just sit around on my phone watching YouTube, playing video games all day, I think that I will genuinely be able to not only feel better, but just know that I'm actually doing more, and I'm not in this constant loop of, oh, I did nothing, I need to break this pattern, and ultimately not break it, because that's just how I am. So I know it's just little steps towards the goal, and I know that's all I need to focus on. I can't think any bigger than that, because yes, I will get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed easy. So I know that's something that I need to do. Hopefully within this next, like I said, week or two, I'm actually able to reflect and actually able to do more for myself because I want to, and because it actually means something to me, because as of right now, it really doesn't. Doing things because I want to, or doing things for myself because it'll benefit me, isn't really in the question. You know, I don't really do things for because of me. So, but that's all I have today. To whoever's listening, you're not alone. Any feelings that you have that you think you are not able to control or handle on your own, please seek out help, or at least do something that you know will help. That is the least you can do for yourself. Have a great rest of your day.